So Chapter 7 was about identifying the suspects of the Waco motorcycle gang shooting. So basically, one day in 2015, there was a shooting, and it sparked from a kind of turf war between two motorcycle gangs in Texas. Um, it was kind of an expected event. There was a biker coalition going on in town, and the local news reporters were trying to cover the story and trying to get all the information that they could and be the first to provide that information to the public. So this one news station that we focused on had the dilemma of, one, let's find out the names, and let's do it, any way we can by, like, DMing relatives on Facebook of the suspects, by using the names that another news station had already released, but in kind of an unethical way. They got it from a justice of peace rather than the police station, who's probably the most credible source for information like this. Yeah, so just a lot of back and forth between ethics and what their news station was telling them to do, what they thought was best to do in, the middle of the situation to be able to cover the story early and get the public what it wanted rather what it needed. Because, like I said, this was a case between biker gangs. It wasn't the safest groups to be covering and releasing information on. And there was also the dilemma of, okay, well, we're not sure if the families of the victims, not the suspects, like I said earlier, the victims, if they even know that they're deceased, because that's what the police station was saying. So, yeah, I definitely had to think a lot about the questions at the end, and bring those ethics from the SPJ into it of, minimizing harm, and like speaking truth and reporting it and being accountable and transparent and acting independently. Because I feel like a lot of that got mixed up in this situation because they were making their decisions based off of another news station and stuff like that, and not using the most reliable, credible sources like the police station versus the justice of the peace, all that. Yeah, I don't think that getting the story out there first is more important than getting the correct story out there, in the time that it's supposed to happen. I feel like they explained pretty well that these were the local news stations, and I'm not one to go to a local news station for, like, breaking news about shootings and big things like this. So, yeah, I think for the local news station to keep their credibility or to gain credibility, it probably would have been wise for them to wait to get those names released by the police station, just so they knew that it was, real factual information. Because I feel like when you go to the local news, you're not looking for them to be the first ones at the scene, the first ones with the story. You're looking for, okay, the accurate stuff that actually applies to your area, to your town. So, yeah.